This film starts in the cosmos, where Darbin is on a planet which contains huge rocks. Upon arrival, she created an opening and extracted a massive rock. This rock she fractured using her hammer named Universal Weapon. As the rock transforms into dust, she realizes that the bracelet appears extraordinary in every way. Without delay, she placed it on her wrist and attempted to locate another, but it was nowhere to be found. Her partner reveals that it might exist in another place, but they are uncertain of its location. The setting shifts to Jersey City, where Miss Marvel resides. Presently, Kamala is in her fantasy world through illustration. Based on her drawing, she is a companion of Captain Marvel, assisting in defeating the negative characters. Captain Marvel also appreciates her enthusiasm and brings her along. Prior to stepping into this make-believe realm, she tells her mother that she's working on her science assignment. This is a small untruth, and she is unaware that her fantasy will become real. A day earlier, when Captain Marvel is on her bed, using a device, she delves into her history, where she has to embark on a mission, leaving her family behind. As she departs, Annihilator shows up to eradicate her family. Reaching this juncture, she opens her eyes as witnessing beyond this is overwhelming. Upon awakening, Nick Fury, the founder of the Avengers supergroup, contacts her. She answers the call and he informs her about something peculiar in the system. Monica is examining the system. It's surprising for Captain Marvel because she has never encountered her since departing from her home. Setting all of this aside, she is tasked with scrutinizing the situation, which is not too distant. Captain Marvel complies with Fury's directive and is sent to the Rocky region. Upon arrival, Captain Marvel is capable of conversing with Monica, but Monica believes it's not the appropriate time to reconcile, so she returns to her tasks and examines the jumper point. Simultaneously, Captain Marvel also observes a jumper point that hasn't closed yet. This indicates it's jammed and emitting energy. Both approach the jumper point, and Kamala's bands start glowing. At that moment, their locations have swapped. Monica has arrived at Captain Marvel's place. Captain Marvel arrived at Kamala's room, breaking through her cupboard. Meanwhile, Kamala finds herself in space, clad in a spacesuit, utterly clueless about the situation. She is outside Fury's spaceship, recognizing him, but she is unfamiliar to him. On the flip side, Captain Marvel examines her fingers, radiating with powers. She also takes note of the room filled with her pictures. Certainly, it's Kamala's room. To get back to her actual location, she leaves the room, where Kamala's parents are astonished to see Captain Marvel in Kamala's space. Without acknowledging them, she steps outside and soars into space. Here, she encounters Darbin's accomplice, whom she begins to confront. She also compels them to disclose Darbin's secret. Darbin is advancing towards Tanax for reconciliation, and she seems powerless to intervene. However, he is unaware that she is Captain Marvel, and nothing is insurmountable for her. She dispatches them with a single strike, transforming into a lightning bomb. Following this, she heads to her spaceship and briefs Fury about the situation. She is contemplating pursuing Darbin, but Fury attempts to dissuade her. Captain Marvel, however, disregards him and activates her ship to head towards Tanax. Meanwhile, Monica has also arrived at the spaceship in her place. Perplexed about the switch, they must unravel this mystery swiftly, as it could happen once more. On the flip side, Kamala attempts to persuade her family that she didn't damage her closet door. In actuality, they are convinced, since it might have been Captain Marvel who emerged from her room. Hearing this, Kamala's heart leaps with joy. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel has discreetly arrived at Tanax. She infiltrates their location. At this point, Darbin endeavors to persuade the Emperor to assist her, but he declines, as the outcome could be catastrophic. They have already been dispersed due to the war and can't afford to take risks. However, she assures them of protection, presenting it as a viable option. Consequently, they are swayed. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel is apprehended, and just as she is about to strike, she is once again switched. Kamala, embodying Captain Marvel, is uncertain about handling these adversaries. In this situation, Captain Marvel's cat aids her by ensnaring those men in its tentacles. Simultaneously, additional rivals appear, but the switching magic comes into play once again, and now Monica is present, courageously dealing with them. Meanwhile, Kamala is back at her home, informing her parents about this peculiar cat. The cat releases those men from its grip, and Kamala charmingly urges her family to flee. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel is infuriated by the predicament resulting from the jumper point's energy. She employs light once more to teleport, and finds herself back at Kamala's place. This time, Captain Marvel imparts a lesson by skillfully evading their guns. Once more, they teleport, and Kamala handles these adversaries with the assistance of her family. Captain Marvel arrives at Tanax and defeats enemies who dare to challenge her. Again, they teleport, and this time Monica skillfully avoids the attacks of enemies at Kamala's home. Soon, they switch, where Kamala, along with her family, subdues the opponents, and Fury eliminates the rivals with his firearm. Just then, Monica reveals that when they use energy simultaneously, the switch occurs. The scene shifts to Kamala's house, now in a deteriorated state. Meanwhile, Fury and Monica arrive to apprehend these adversaries and communicate with Kamala. Monica explains the dynamics of their lightning power. Captain Marvel can absorb lightning, and she can control it. Moreover, Kamala possesses the ability to harness lightning physically. Excited to demonstrate this, Kamala switches with Captain Marvel, who promptly dashes outside, once again heading into space. Meanwhile, Monica is aware that Kamala is airborne, prompting her to activate her flying power, which proves effective. In this instance, she barely manages to catch up with Kamala, who conjures a lightning circle that descends upon Tanax in front of Darbin. Darbin's accomplice informs her that they are allies of Captain Marvel, who has unexpectedly appeared here. In anguish, Darbin is on the verge of attacking them with her lightning power band. However, Captain Marvel arrives just in time, using her exceptional power to save them, and a battle ensues between them. They engage in combat, and when Captain Marvel strikes her, Darbin's power band shields her, allowing her to leap from space. Captain Marvel and Monica pursue her, but Kamala remains grounded and unable to fly. Consequently, Captain Marvel returns to retrieve her. Upon arriving at Emperor Doge's location, Darbin punishes them for violating the treaty using the power of her band. The lightning extending into the sky has activated the jumper point. After accomplishing this, she departs from the scene, and Captain Marvel inquires about an escape route. Unfortunately, there is none. The location begins to crumble, and Captain Marvel's team endeavors to rescue them. Captain Marvel urges Kamala to board the spaceship, but she chooses to shield the people with her physical lightning power instead. Shortly after, Captain Marvel notices Kamala is not aboard the spaceship, but is constructing a slide to rescue people. She brings Kamala inside the ship, and they must flee before the location is entirely destroyed. On their way, the Emperor instructs Captain Marvel to keep a distance, but she aids in locating a secure site. Captain Marvel's friend arrives and transports the Emperor and his associates to the safest location. Before departing, she advises Captain Marvel to stick with her team rather than standing alone. Back at Hala, Darbin removes her mask, as she has brought the air from the Emperor's place, allowing everyone to breathe. The credit goes to Darbin, who is advocating for their rights. Darbin vows to restore Hala to its original state. Meanwhile, at Captain Marvel's location, she's attempting to repair something, and Monica assists her in rectifying the issue. Monica expresses frustration about never returning and having to wait for her. However, Captain Marvel has other tasks to attend to, preventing her from returning promptly. They approach Kamala, extending a warm welcome. Kamala discloses that the second bracelet belongs to her grandmother, and she aims to retrieve it from Darbin. These bracelets have the power to activate the jumper point, potentially causing chaos in the world. To unravel the mystery, they employ a device to delve into the past. Following their exploration, they became aware that Darbin could absorb power and potentially launch an attack against them. It dawns on them that Darbin's intention is to restore her homeland, Hala. Having acquired air, her next resource is water, which she plans to obtain from Aladna. Captain Marvel is aware of its location. Before embarking on this mission, they seek permission from Kamala's family, who grant approval, especially after Monica provides assurance. Kamala's family is in space with Fury, and he observes Goose, a cat behaving oddly. Before embarking on the mission, they practice getting accustomed to switching. To achieve this, they sit in each other's positions and simultaneously complete their respective tasks. At Fury's location, they encounter something peculiar and attempt to decipher it, but are unable to do so. Subsequently, they journey to Aladna, where Kamala is warmly welcomed. Prior to their arrival, Captain Marvel had already conveyed her significance to the residents. However, the reception surpasses expectations. The welcoming party greets Kamala with songs, and Captain Marvel escorts them to the prince's palace. The prince extends a personal invitation, transforming Captain Marvel attire into that of a princess, inviting her to dance. While dancing with the prince, Captain Marvel informs him about Darbin's intention to steal water. The prince becomes serious, and they devise a plan to confront her. Monica and Captain Marvel will handle Darbin, while Kamala will address other adversaries in the impending battle. Simultaneously, Fury's assistant provides information about the impending arrival of 37 ships. The situation becomes increasingly dire, prompting Fury to instruct his assistant to investigate a plant that originated from Gauss. Meanwhile, Darbin arrives at Aladna in a grand manner, urging the prince to handle the situation. However, the prince is prohibited from taking action, and Monica employs a laser to repel Darbin. A full-fledged confrontation ensues, with Monica taking charge of dealing with Darbin. Captain Marvel and Monica swiftly switch positions to incapacitate Darbin. Unexpectedly, Darbin's associates surrender her hammer. Darbin forcefully slams the hammer on the ground, compelling them to make a hasty escape. In the process, she reaches her spaceship to generate the jumper point. With Kamala facing difficulty in combat without a weapon, the prince steps in to fight on her behalf, suggesting she use her scarf as a makeshift weapon. Kamala employs the same technique. Prior to Darbin creating the jumper point, Monica intervenes to thwart her, switching places with Captain Marvel. A fierce battle ensues between Captain Marvel and Darbin, and just at that moment, Monica returns. Together, they pose a formidable challenge, and Kamala joins the fray. As the bracelets belong to her grandmother, they start radiating light, prompting Darbin to demand the bracelet. Captain Marvel instructs Kamala to enter the ship, and she complies with the command. Meanwhile, Darbin overwhelms them by absorbing Captain Marvel's power and turning it against them. She tosses both of them aside and activates the jumper point, transporting the water to Hala. Following this, she makes a quick escape, and Monica leaps onto the ship, taking control of its operation. Kamala is frightened, stuck in her seat. Suddenly, Captain Marvel emerges from the sea, wielding her power to obliterate 2 ships. She enters the ship to confront the remaining vessels. Monica suggests they escape, but Captain Marvel is confident she can manage the situation. Kamala, terrified, pushes a button that opens a portal, leading them to a safe location. Upon arrival, Captain Marvel reveals that she is the cause of Hala's civil war and decay, and Darbin seeks revenge against her. Consequently, Darbin is taking the resources Captain Marvel values, aiming to hurt her. Given this alarming situation, their next potential target could be Fury. Amidst this, they find themselves at Fury's location, realizing the urgent need for evacuation. As everyone evacuates, Fury discovers that these are not plants but rather goose eggs, giving rise to cats. Fury's associates propose using these cats to transport all the people. Initially reluctant, Fury eventually agrees as they have no alternative. Just then, the Captain Marvel team arrives, expressing surprise at the unexpected sight of so many cats. The cats carry all the people in their mouths. Captain Marvel attempts to intervene, but Fury gives his approval for the task. It proves more efficient to transport people through the cats than dealing with hundreds of humans directly. Thus, Captain Marvel and Kamala guide the people into the cats' mouths, while Monica investigates their motivations. She reveals that they are seeking their son. In addition to this, Darbin has activated a jumping point, transporting the son to Hala. Meanwhile, Kamala's parents bid farewell to their daughter and return to Earth. They board the ship, experiencing a bumpy ride that barely lands them on Earth. Furthermore, Captain Marvel confronts Darbin, and Monica, from behind, delivers a powerful punch, sending Darbin flying. Following this, they engage in an iconic battle. They switch positions to try and subdue her, but she continues to demonstrate dominance. However, they manage to turn the tables, causing her to fall to the ground. Captain Marvel requests the bracelet from her, and Monica assures her that it will be used to restore Hala. As Kamala is about to retrieve the bracelet, Darbin rejects the request, placing her axe at Kamala's face. Captain Marvel refrains from fighting Darbin, wary of the potential harm to Kamala's face. Darbin seizes the bracelet from Captain Marvel and takes flight into the air. Sensing what might happen, Monica instructs Kamala to bend down. Captain Marvel attempts to save her, but Darbin disintegrates into ashes. Monica retrieves Kamala, and together they observe the space hole created by Darbin's actions. To seal the hole, Monica suggests they use space power on her, allowing her to absorb the energy and close the breach. They follow through with the plan, with Monica handling one side of the hole. Unfortunately, she becomes trapped there, and Captain Marvel is unable to rescue her. Meanwhile, Kamala safely lands on Earth in a spaceship, greeted by her delighted parents. Kamala informs Fury that Captain Marvel has gone to fulfill her promise. Utilizing her power, she has once again revived the sun, bringing sunshine to the people of Hala. Meanwhile, everything is peaceful, and Captain Marvel is with Kamala. Additionally, they have relocated their house and are hopeful for the best for Monica. Kamala, having joined forces with a superhero to assemble a team, agrees to embark on a mission to locate Ant-Man. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to catch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.